Polio. This chapter on viruses started off with the greatest defeat of an infectious disease in the world's triumph over smallpox, and it ends with an almost defeat. Hopefully, the effort against polio will not prove the saying, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. In 2015, polio has been eliminated from most of the world but remains persistent in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Nigeria, and has shown up elsewhere, including in Syria. Polio is highly contagious, and a case anywhere truly poses a threat to people, particularly kids everywhere. In the most severe cases, polio can cause extreme muscle weakness, sometimes leading to permanent paralysis, loss of the ability to feel all or part of the body, and even death. Some people, like President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, survive severe polio and go on to lead successful and otherwise healthy lives. Others do not survive, and many who are stricken cannot get the kind of care FDR received. Throughout its history, polio has had an outsized effect on children, pregnant women, and those with weakened immune systems, because they can't fight off the polio infection. It's transmitted mainly when people unknowingly ingest tiny, invisible bits of poop from people who have polio through drinking contaminated water, eating contaminated food, or touching something carrying the polio virus and then putting their hands in their mouth. Because polio is so contagious, people who live, work, or play with a recently infected person have a very high risk of catching polio. There is no cure for polio, so the polio vaccine is crucial to ensuring people stay safe from polio's worst effects, or even its mild ones. The most commonly used polio vaccine today is an oral vaccine. People need to take multiple doses over a few years to be fully protected. Tragically, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria, at different points over the past few years, various community and religious leaders have spoken out against polio eradication efforts. They often falsely accuse polio workers, most of whom are from their own communities in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria, of being part of an American plot to prevent local children from having children once they grow up, which makes no sense at all. From December 2012 to November 2014, at least 65 anti-polio health workers were killed in Pakistan alone. 9 anti-polio workers were tragically killed in northern Nigeria on one day in 2013. Children now infected with polio are the invisible victims of those attacks. In Pakistan, there were 4 times as many polio cases in 2014 as 2013. Unlike many diseases, polio cannot survive for long outside of humans, and it cannot thrive in animals. The vaccine is effective and relatively cheap to make, though at the moment it's clearly dangerous for health workers to give it to kids who need it the most. Hopefully, newer strategies from the brave people and organizations who work against polio will help lessen the fear about the polio vaccine so that all kids can be vaccinated and polio can then follow smallpox into the history books. If you want to learn more about polio vaccination efforts across the world, polioeradication.org is a good place to start. As always, the first and most important thing you can do is to try keep yourself healthy at home, at school, and when you travel. If you can do that, you help prevent others from getting sick. If you make sure your vaccinations are up to date, it protects you and your friends and strangers from getting diseases like measles and the flu. And although this has come up many times already, and I did warn you I would nag you about this, It's impossible to overstate the importance of washing your hands with soap and water after you go to the bathroom and before you eat. Which may sound completely obvious, but too often people forget or don't want to bother. You can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer as a backup option if soap and water aren't available. This may also sound obvious, but if you see blood or vomit or anything that looks like it came out of a person or animal, yes, I just wrote that, find an adult to help safely and appropriately clean it up. Another way to help protect yourself and others is by sharing what you know about good hygiene and healthy behaviors. Without even thinking about it, we often take for granted that other people know what we know, and sometimes they don't. One thing you can do is to remind, nicely, or even tell someone for the first time about the importance of vaccines, hand washing, bug repellent, more on that in the next chapter, good hydration, and other proven strategies to help prevent specific diseases and to generally keep yourself virus-free and healthy. Someone who's doing just that is Shaba, whose name is changed for her protection, from Pakistan. When she became a school leader with Right to Play, an organization that helps teach kids important life lessons through sports and play, she was in 6th grade. Shaba lives with mental and physical disabilities, and for many years she was teased and bullied, often responding the only way she knew how, by fighting back. She was socially isolated when she started to work with Right to Play volunteer coach Aisha, whose name has also been changed for her protection. Coach Aisha gave Shaba the opportunity to use sports and games to help teach her classmates about the importance of hygiene, making learning about hand washing fun, focused on, you guessed it, the right way to wash hands. Shaba taught kids hand washing games they could do together before meals, at school, and at home. Over time, she's grown more confident, which is great for Shaba and helps people see beyond her disabilities to the person she is. She's teased less and doesn't think fighting back is the only response, even when she is bullied. Shaba's confidence has also helped make her a more effective leader and peer educator, which means more people know how to better protect their health and why hand washing is so important. That's good for everyone, the kids in Shaba's school and the family they go home to who now know more about hygiene, good health, and hand washing games too. To learn more about Right to Play's work with kids like Shaba and hand washing and other health fronts, as well as its very cool founder and my friend, Johan Koss, please visit righttoplay.com. When talking about health risks and prevention, whether it relates to hygiene or anything else, it's important to stick to facts. You can share fact sheets and helpful infographics from reliable sources like the US CDC at cdc.gov and the World Health Organization, often referred to as WHO, at who.int, about everything from specific diseases, what they are and what they aren't, to why vaccines are safe, to how best to wash our hands. Yes, there is a right way. It's also important to be aware of what are not immediate health risks. Like Ebola was not an immediate health risk to almost all Americans during the recent outbreak in West Africa. And what are more immediate health risks, like the flu during flu season? It doesn't help anyone anywhere if we panic unnecessarily in our own minds, homes, or schools. If you're traveling outside the US for any reason, it's good to check the CDC website's travel section to be aware of what additional precautions, like extra vaccines, you may need to take so that you're protecting your health away from home, just as well as you do at home. That doesn't mean you shouldn't still pay attention and be concerned about what's happening elsewhere, even if you have no plans to travel outside the US. Quite the contrary. That's a polite way of saying that I believe we must support efforts to improve health everywhere. It's good for all of us. If every country had a health system more like ours than not, more people in more places would be less likely to get sick, and we'd be less likely to get sick too. We would never worry about an Ebola outbreak in another country because we would know any Ebola patients would be quickly identified and treated, hopefully leading to their recovery and stopping Ebola from spreading even to their neighbors, much less other countries. If you want to help fight infectious diseases in other communities and countries, even if you can't go there yourself, it's important to first understand what the challenges are and aren't. In some places, HIV/AIDS is the main concern. In others, it's heart disease. In many places, it's both. It's important to know what has been proven to work and recognize that some things that work in one place may not work in another. And it's crucial to be aware of what the communities combating infections think the best and right methods are for preventing and treating various diseases. Imagine how you and your family would feel if someone showed up telling you to do A, B, and C without ever asking how you felt about A, B, or C. North Carolina native Aaron is a terrific example of someone who felt a connection to a specific place, Haiti, and issue access to healthcare after Haiti's devastating 2010 earthquake, and wanted to do something to help. Aaron also found an organization, Partners in Health, that works, as its name implies, in partnership with local communities in Haiti and elsewhere to provide high-quality healthcare in places that often have had none. They've never had a doctor or a nurse. Aaron first decided of PIH and its work to help Haitians fight HIV/AIDS, get vaccinated, get cardiac care, and much, much more in 2009. After the 2010 earthquake hit, then 7-year-old Aaron gave her mom the $3.08 she had saved so that she could donate it to PIH for Haiti. Although Aaron had given all the money she had, she wanted to do more. So, Aaron decided to sell handmade bookmarks at the local farmers market. As she recently told PIH, her first goal was $10, but that goal quickly swelled to $100, then $1,000. Aaron could have stopped long ago. She's been raising money for PIH for 5 years now, and still have accomplished a lot. But she knows she can do even more. So she continues to sell her bookmarks, and now additionally sells greeting cards to ensure that people she may never meet don't have to die of malaria or HIV/AIDS or cholera. More on cholera and malaria in the next chapter. To learn more about PIH, visit pih.org. I'm on PIH's Board of Trustees because I believe so strongly in PIH's mission and work. And I'm also grateful for the opportunities the Clinton Foundation and Clinton Health Access Initiative have had to work with PIH in Haiti and across the world. Paul Farmer, one of PIH's founders, is one of my heroes and someone I'm proud to call my friend. Erin also did something important in addition to raising money. She showed that a girl in North Carolina cared enough about PIH to first make greeting cards and bookmarks and later travel to Boston to meet some of the PIH team to say thank you. That's the sort of support any of us can provide. By saying thank you to people on the front lines doing research to fight diseases, providing support to communities to prevent diseases, and caring for those who are sick. You can send emails or letters to say thank you, whether to PIH or any of the organizations or people mentioned in this book, or really anyone you think is doing important work. I remember my mom and grandmother Dorothy explaining this to me when I was little as the discipline of gratitude. If we're thankful to someone for something, we should say thank you so they know it. It's not a notion either of them originated. Far from it, the idea is in the Bible. But I always think of my mom and grandma in connection to the discipline of gratitude because of all the conversations we had about it over the years. And I try to practice the discipline of gratitude every day. Thank you to Dr. Jenner and Dr. Farmer and all the doctors, nurses, community healthcare workers, teachers, parents, and more who've helped me lead a healthy life and are continuing to help people around the world lead healthier lives too.